Good morning everybody. Welcome to Running Reimagined. For those of you that don't know, my name is Dylan Hopper. I come out with videos every single week to help give you a tip or a trick to improving and hopefully over time transforming your running experience. Alright, I'll wait just a couple minutes here, let a few people log on. Again, I've been going live every single day. I'll be going live every day until Thursday. Kind of the concept behind this was that I wake up every morning and I either read about running or I'll go run. So I figured why not have a cup of coffee and then, just talk about running. So I'm really excited about today's live broadcast because it has to do with 3 tips. Actually, it's going to be 4 tips, but it's going to be 4 tips that revolve around someone that I had spoke with yesterday about training for their first half marathon. And this is kind of some of the tips, some of the food for thought to think about as they train and approach that half marathon, which will hopefully lead to kind of a better, faster time. So if you don't mind, if you're here, please comment below. Let me know you're here. I want to be able to have a two-way conversation going here. But yeah, again, this is going to be 4 tips for how to kind of help prepare for your first half marathon. So let's get started. So the first tip that I had given this person that I had spoke with yesterday, this person had done several 5Ks, I think 2 10Ks, and has run two to 3 times per week for the last 6 months or so. And so she's gotten pretty good race kind of experience in. She has pretty good consistent running. So that's the issue. Wasn't just starting from the bottom, so that was good. So the number 1 tip, the first tip that I gave her, and this is really the number 1 tip in terms of anybody, whether you're training for any distance within running, and that's to listen to your body. I think that it's like invaluable that your body's sending you messages all the time, and it's constantly trying to tell you something. So it's really important that you listen to it. You know your body better than any coach. You know your body better than any running program. So the idea is that there might be this, you might be following this online cookie cutter type training plan, and it's going to tell you to run so many days a week, and it's going to tell you to run for so many miles a week. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you get to a certain day, like say you get to today, Saturday, and it's telling you to run 8 miles, but your body really doesn't feel it, you're feeling kind of those aches and pains, then you don't have to go out and run those 8 miles. It's not going to make or break you. Like if that means that you go out and maybe run 4 or 5 because that's what feels comfortable and your body's you're not going to do further damage to your body, then go out and do that. So I think the number 1 tip, and that's, doesn't matter if you're just training for your first half or your first full or, a 5K, a 10K, listen to your body. Your body's always trying to send you messages. And the more you start to pay attention to your body, the more you'll start to realize the difference between kind of injuries and just aches and pains, because there is a difference there. And really only you can be able to distinguish the two. But being very self-aware and recognizing that will allow you to train consistently much longer, and then much healthier, which is going to lead to kind of a more successful race. So that was kind of my first tip to her, was just to listen to your body as you're preparing for this, because you're probably going to start to run a little bit longer distances than you had before. Her longest run before was a 10K, around 6.2 miles. And so the second tip that I had given her was, it was talking about kind of the long run. So whether you wanted to do it once a week or every other week, again, listening to your body, have one day, whether it's once a week or every other week, where you run a little bit longer. So what I'm trying to say there is that if you're take her for example, her longest run was a 10K. So when she goes to do that long run, run that 10K on that day, because that's the longest distance she's ever run, and feel really good and comfortable doing it. And then once you do, don't jump from like 10K to 13K or 14K right away. You can go from, 10K to just 10.5K the next week, or 10K to like maybe 11K, depending on how you're feeling. And then the following week after that, just run that 10.5K again, or that 11K again, and make sure that you're feeling really comfortable with that distance. Because what's that's going to do is you're just building it incrementally up over time as you approach your half marathon, but you're going to feel so much more confident by the time you get there. And then also it's going to help keep you healthy for the rest of your training, instead of trying to jump and do crazy jumps to running distances that you're not comfortable with. So I think there's another kind of rule that I kind of talk to different coaching clients and kind of give people advice with, and it's kind of a story that I personally had experienced when I ran in college. I ran in a very highly competitive program, and I was probably one of the lower to mid-lower on the team. And so we go out for these long runs, and we'd run, 15, 16, 17 miles, and those guys, they'd be doing them at a pretty good click because they're just that much faster than me. And so on those long runs, my rule is to run them the pace that you need to. So you can run those long runs as slow as you need to. It's not about getting those long runs done as fast as possible or trying to get them done within that race time. What I had done in college was, eventually I found out that my body felt so tired that whole next week as I would jump into training after coming out of these 15, 16, 17 mile long runs. And so I had cut myself back to 12 miles because 12 miles was what I was comfortable with. And I ran 12 miles for 4 or 5 weeks in a row, and I didn't really have a set date of when I was going to start increasing it. But after 4 or 5 weeks, I really felt comfortable, and I felt like I mastered 12 miles. And then I just increased it to 12.5, and then I just increased it to 13. And eventually I got up higher and higher, but I felt really comfortable and confident doing it. My advice to her for running her longest distance was a 10K. She's trying to run a half marathon. So I said, maybe if you could just increase that incrementally up to like 13, 14K, or I think that's around 8 or 9 miles, you're going to be fully prepared. If you can be able to run, 8, 9 miles very comfortably, then you're going to have no problem by the time that half marathon comes, and all that adrenaline and all that training and all the other runs that you're doing throughout the week, you're going to be fully prepared to be able to finish that thing off. My third tip had to do with diet, and essentially you're kind of figuring out exactly what you're going to eat before the race. And you're going to do this on those longer run days where you're kind of pushing that limit of, the longest you've run before, the longest proportionally that makes sense in terms of the distance that you're trying to run. And so what my kind of rating system here is, I give everything kind of a 5-star. So you wake up, you eat, X, and you'll write down everything that you eat. And then you'll go out and run. You'll mark the amount of time that you had eaten and then waited and then ran. You'll mark that stuff down in a journal, and then you'll go out and run, and then at the end of the run, you'll rate kind of how your body felt, how your body reacted to the foods that you ate. You'll give it, a 2, 3, 4-star, 5-star, whatever it is, and then the following week, you're going to eat essentially a very similar thing, and just maybe tweak like 1 or 2 things within that, just trying to improve it a little bit based on your own judgment, whatever you think, your body might react a little bit better to. And essentially you're trying to get to that 5-star rating, and hopefully you can be able to work this system out, and so then by the time you get to race day, you'll know exactly what to eat and exactly how your body's going to react. There's going to be no surprises when you're trying to run a distance or a challenge that you've never done before. It can really, really help you out. It's one less thing that you have to worry about, because you're probably going to have nerves and different things going through your body, which is fine. That's totally natural. But it allows you just to have a little bit more fun and worry a little bit less. And then the fourth tip that I think I had given to this person, and I think it's important to be able to do, which is to add kind of strength and core work into the kind of her training system, her training program. And the reason for this is that the stronger your core is at the center of everything. So the stronger your core is, the better form that you're going to have later on in the race, and the more comfortable you're going to feel. If you can have stronger core, you're going to have better form and you're going to be more efficient. So what does this mean? Like, I know we all have busy lives and you can't always just getting your strength workout, getting your run, stretch, eat, recover, ice, all that stuff. So what kind of my tip, and I give this to a lot of people, and a lot of people really like it, is to create a rule for yourself where every time, you can even post a sign, every time you say you leave your bedroom, you have to do 10 push-ups. Or every time maybe you leave your house, you have to do 10 push-ups. Or you have to do, I have a pull-up bar, and so my rule is that I have to do 7 pull-ups right now. Right now it's 7. I have to do 7 pull-ups every time I leave the house. I have to do 7 pull-ups every time I come into the house. And believe me, as I go to work, I make sure that I remember all my stuff, because if you do 2 or 3 trips back to the car, that gets pretty tiring every time you go in and out of the house. So, but yeah, and pick a number that you're comfortable with, that doesn't push you, because you're going to end up doing quite a few over the course of the day, but you're always getting in that core work, and it's a way where you're not having to set aside, 10 minutes here or 30 minutes here to get in that core and strength work. And really all you need is body weight type exercises. That's honestly, I have some weights, but it's all body weight stuff. That's all I really try to recommend to people. So you can be able to go on YouTube or wherever else and look up different body weight exercises, create those signs, and then it's just a great way to build up your core strength. And without really realizing it, you feel it by the end of the day, because you might have just done 50 push-ups. But yeah, so those are kind of the 4 tips, 4 pieces of advice, food for thought, that I had given. These kind of pieces you can take as much as you want. You can take as little as you want. Every single one of us is different in how our bodies react, so it's really important that you're paying attention to how your body's reacting to everything, and really customizing, creating your own program, because only you know your body the best. So those are kind of the 4 tips I had this morning, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you missed any of it, feel free to go back. This will be reposted on the page. If you know anybody who is training for the first half marathon or training for a bigger race, and they might find some of these tips helpful, please share this video with them. It's my goal to be able to connect and help as many people as possible. And I really think that using this system is the best way to do it. And honestly, comment below on any tips that you might have as you say prepared for your first half marathon or marathon or 5K. Because chances are, if there's something you did and it really helped you out, then it's probably going to help somebody else out. And that's kind of the whole goal of this whole platform, is just to be able to help as many people as possible. I think this sport is awesome. I love this sport. I love the community. It's just so friendly and loyal and fun. So, yeah, so that's what I got for you today, guys. Have a great day. Take care. I'm about to go run on some trails, actually. So have a great day, guys.